The state of California is suing some of the largest oil and gas companies in the world, accusing them of over 50 years of deception. The lawsuit claims that the companies covered up the risks fossil fuels pose to the environment and protected their profits over the health of the planet. Joining us now in Studio 57 is California Attorney General Rob Bonta. Mr. Attorney General, California says these companies engaged in, quotes, decades of deception. What is the state alleging these oil companies have done?
California is alleging that the 5 largest big oil companies, Chevron, Shell, ConocoPhillips, BP, ExxonMobil, as well as the American Petroleum Institute, participated in a decades-long campaign of deception that led to great damage and destruction to the California people because of climate change. It's essentially a climate change deception case that for decades, since the 50s, 60s, 70s, through internal memos, through private acknowledgments, through commissioned studies that they commissioned, they learned about and knew about climate change and all the impacts it would have on global warming, damage to natural resources, damage to the environment, extreme weather. But they hid it and lied about it and tried to undermine it and question it and create uncertainty around it. They also knew that there were pathways for clean energy, that there were pathways for carbon sequestration, but in pursuit of endless profits. And they profited $200 billion last year. They sat on that information. And so instead of a pathway towards clean energy, we have a pathway towards environmental destruction and damage and climate change. And so we have now in California, the hots are getting hotter, the wet's getting wetter, dry's getting drier. We're facing floods and superstorms and droughts and wildfires every day. And our case is based on a very simple but powerful principle that you are responsible for your actions. That what you created and the damage and destruction, you must pay for. You can't force that onto California taxpayers. So that taxpayers are paying now with lost homes, lost farms, worsened health, sucking in dirty air and working in increased heat. We want an abatement fund where these fossil fuel companies, big oil, put billions of dollars into it to provide for mitigation as well as resilience and adaptation.
So no surprise, these companies are not too happy about this. I don't want to read a statement from Chevron in particular. The statement says, quote, climate change is a global problem that requires a coordinated international policy response, not piecemeal litigation for the benefit of lawyers and politicians. Has California, so it's no surprise that and it's not entirely off that global warming and climate change is a much bigger problem than just 6 oil companies. You might want to blame coal more than perhaps oil. Is this kind of scapegoating or performative? Because how much of a difference could it make?
Look, this case, first of all, is historic, first of its kind, a watershed moment. We are about to be the 4th largest economy in the world. We're the biggest state in the union, the biggest geographic entity and the biggest economy to sue these big oil companies, and we are revealing the ugly truths of what they knew, when they knew it, and the fact that they hid it. Of course, they don't like it. They don't want to be held accountable, but that is our job, to hold them accountable for what they've done, and they will continue their campaign of undermining and distracting and diluting the truth when it comes, when it is being used to hold them accountable. But they are responsible. The fossil fuel industry is responsible for where we are today, and don't take my word for it, take their words for it. They are all over our 134-page complaint, their own words, their own executives, their own internal memos, their own studies. They, with terrifying accuracy, knew we would be exactly where we are today. And they said, let's continue to make profits, let's undermine and create uncertainty so we can benefit and profit.
So this is sort of similar to, taking on the tobacco industry, right? Where the tobacco industry was very well aware of the fact that their products were killing people. Except in this case, we all know what the science says. No matter what the oil companies say, we all know what the science says. So maybe their internal memos were saying something different than what they were doing, but we all knew better. What was California doing to encourage people to get off of the fossil fuel bandwagon? Does perhaps the state of California bear some responsibility?
People today still don't accept climate science, the facts, the evidence, the science. And that's because there has been a decades-long campaign of undermining it, of creating front groups called things like the Global Climate Coalition. Sounds good. It is an industry-fueled group that is paid to cast doubt on the real science by the accepted scientists and to undermine the science of climate change and you know through editorials and you know pushing different policies.
Right.
They have their whole approach was cast doubt, create uncertainty, make people think it's not as urgent as it really is, make people think it's too costly to do anything, so that we can continue to push fossil fuels out into the world and make money. So they are responsible for what they did. California, of course, we're fighting for our people. We're doing everything we can to invest in resilience and adaptation and mitigation to keep folks safe from floods and wildfires and drought. But that doesn't stop, or doesn't change the fact that these big oil companies hid the science of climate change from the people, undermined it, and lied about it time and time again.
Think you can win?
Yes. We bring suits that we think we could win.
That was because, yeah, you talk about the information and the notes and the conversations that you have been able to gain access to. So the question, of course, is you're an experienced litigator. To the point that Anne-Marie made, and even what Chevron is saying, it's not performative because you actually think that there's a way that California can hold these companies accountable. You'll find this is going to a jury?
Could eventually, if it doesn't settle.
If they don't settle.
Yeah.
So you think you'd find a sympathetic jury if it gets to that point?
I mean, we have smoking guns. We have their own words that we will show in court. We have great evidence around deception. The science is clear around climate change. We have strong causes of action and a great factual basis. This is a legal case. That's all it is. This isn't politics. This isn't performative. This is bringing your facts and law before a court of law and eventually a jury, making your case. We believe tribunals are where the truth is heard and the facts will come out, and that their lies, their deception, their decades of hurting the people in California will be revealed, and that we will prevail.
All right.
All right, Attorney General Rob Bonta. Great, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.